Welcome to Web 2.0 Sniper version 2. In this demo / overview, I'm going to give you a quick run through of the different features and how they're used. Now we have in the tutorials tab here, we have full tutorials on all these tabs here. So please make sure that you watch they're only bite-sized videos for all the tabs so you understand them in more detail. We've also included a quick start guide which will give you some quick hints and tips. Okay, so let's go first of all through the main. This is where we paste our keywords. Now you can either paste keywords in from or you can type them in, or you can actually import them from a file. So if you wanted to import them from a file, you click there, then you click import keywords. You can clear the keywords. Most of the buttons have got, as you can see, tooltips popping up so you know exactly what they do. Again, you can watch the tutorials. I can't stress enough how much to watch the tutorials. Check the case study that's included in the application folder and also the cheat sheet, because what we do in the case study is we show you exactly how we've used Web 2.0 Sniper to rank, and the cheat sheet will give you some really handy hints and tips that could possibly save you some time. Okay, so back to the demo. We've pasted our keywords in here. The next thing we do is go to settings. Now on the settings page, we've made the software as versatile as possible. Some people like to use proxies and some people don't. So these settings are a lot to do with trial and error depending on your connection, depending on the quality of the proxies, depending on your CPU. You can hover over, like I said, and you can get tooltips explaining what each one does. So let's go over them. Checker threads. Now, if you are using proxies, then you can set this. Don't set it to more than the number of proxies you've got. Set it to less than the number of proxies that you've got, and that's how many threads it'll use to check your results. Now, finder threads. Again, the same rule applies. If you've only got one IP, then leave the finder threads to 1. If you've got 10 proxies, then leave your finder threads up to 10 proxies. Again, trial and error, depending on your connection, CPU, bandwidth, it all helps. So, should I say all counts. So, again, check what is best for you. The timeout. This again depends on the quality of your proxy. It's set to 3 as standard. You can make it bigger. So for, let's say for example, you're using free proxies, then free proxies tend to have, they tend to be a bit slower, so you need a longer timeout on that. We do suggest if you are using proxies that you use dedicated or at least semi-dedicated. Now, delay. This is used if, let's say for example, your proxies are less quality. You can increase the delay. We go over this again in the cheat sheet. Again, test it, see what works best for you. Data source. Now this is where we find the Web 2.0s, whether we use Google or Bing, or if you click in the middle you can use both. Now at the time of creating this video, Google tended to work better with proxies, and the more the better. And if you didn't want to use proxies, then I would suggest using Bing. It is possible to use Google, but you need to set these delays high. So use Bing. Right, okay, so if you do want to use proxies, you can import them from a file and then click import. Make sure you switch this on. So that turns green, that means your proxies, it'll use proxies. If you're using the Pro version, you can also check metrics, so you can put your Moz API key, username and API key there. And if you don't know where to get that from, you can click the link at the top and it'll take you to get the Moz details. Okay, so keywords. this is also a pro version. If you've got the standard version like this is, you'll still see all the pro features. All it'll mean is when you press the button, then it's going to take you to the upgrade page. So what you do if you are using the Pro is you put your seed keywords in here, hit start, and then it'll go and get you a lot of keywords. Now, like I can't stress enough, the more keywords that you use, the better results. Now, for your keywords, you can either use related keywords, or you can even use names. Now, the profile, or at the time of recording this, obviously things can change, but at the time of recording this, the profile name didn't matter that much. So as long as you had so if you had a relevant article that you was trying to rank for, the profile name doesn't need to be the same sort of content as the article. So that's just a quick tip for you there. Again, once you've done this, you press start, it'll go and find the keywords, and then it'll have them here when it's finished, and then you just press transfer to main, and it'll take them back over here, and then you would just press start. Okay, so metrics, like I said before, it's a pro feature. If you had that on and you got your Moz details in there, then when it's finished, your metrics are going to show up here. You can save the metrics and you can clear them. Okay, another pro feature to make your life easier is a proxy checker. So you can paste your proxies in there and just hit test proxies, and it'll go away and it'll test the proxies. Now, for working dedicated or semi-dedicated, it checks them pretty quick. If a proxy fails, then obviously it's got a timeout delay for it to make sure that it's not a slow proxy. So if you're using slow proxies or proxies are failing, then this process will take a bit longer. Now we've got the log screen. Whatever you're doing here will show up in the log screen. So if we were checking proxies, then all your proxies, checked or failed, would appear here. Then we've got the tutorials, which you obviously know. So click on any of these and you will get a bite-sized video more in depth on each tab. And we've also got a quick start guide at the bottom. Okay, so what we want to do now is, let me just turn the proxies off. I'll set the delay to 5 and then I will hit start finding Web 2.0s. Now, because I've set up a delay, I will pause this video because it's going to wait for 5 seconds in between each search. Now, this is just me demoing a single IP on Google so you can see some results. If your IP does get banned, please don't let that word scare you. It doesn't mean that you won't be able to use Google for your every other day searches. What it means is it will more than likely throw up a captcha when you do use Google. Don't worry, it's not permanent. It will go away, so it's not nothing to worry about when we use the word get banned. So don't panic there. Okay, so let me just pause this for a second. Okay, so out of that 17 keywords, it's found 847 Web 2.0 properties ready to check if they are expired. Now, as I've mentioned before, I can't stress enough, I've only used 17 keywords just for this demo to make sure that it wasn't too long for you. In real life use, I suggest you using as many keywords here as you possibly can. The more keywords that you use, the more Web 2.0s that you find, and then the more Web 2.0s that you found, the more chance you're going to get out of finding expired ones, because Web 2.0 properties are really, really popular because of the SEO power that they hold. Okay, so like I said, we found 847 Web 2.0s ready to check if they're expired. So I would suggest you click Save Raw 2.0s, because these, if they're not expired already, these can expire at any time. Nobody knows when they're going to expire, so it's well worth you checking this list again and again and again for more profiles that expire. Okay, so all we do is we click Transfer to Checker, and that will move it down to the checker here, and then just check the checker threads. I'll put the checker threads on 3. Click check available Web 2.0s. And that's that. As you can see there, it tells you the number that it's checked, and within a few seconds it's already found an expired Web 2.0 here. Now, one thing to note, just because the Web 2.0 is here and it's expired, it doesn't mean to say that you can register it straight away. Now, don't panic, because these platforms, some of them have what's called a grace period. So when the actual profile expires, and this is the profile name, so this would be what you register. When the profile expires, they go into a grace period on different platforms. Some platforms don't have grace periods, different platforms have a different number of days, and only the platform obviously know what that number is. So what we suggest you do is, let's say for example you go and try and register that and you can't register it, then it's probably still in its grace period. So what you should do then is you should save these Web 2.0s to recheck again if you can register them in a few days, and keep doing that until it's out of its grace period and you can register it. I'll just pause the demo again. As you can see, we checked 184 here. Again, I can't stress enough, the more keywords, the more results, the more that you're going to find. Let me pause this a second. Okay, so as you can see, we found 9 expired Web 2.0 properties, and they are ready for you to check or register. If they're available to register, then register them. If they're not available to register and they're in their grace period, then save them so you can recheck, keep rechecking for when they come out of the grace period. Now, like I keep saying, more keywords here equals more results here, which usually equals more expired domains here. I can't stress enough, save, so you don't have to keep re-getting new ones. Save these and keep rechecking. Now, for this demo, we use Tumblr platform. In the standard version, we have 4 platforms that you can use, and in the professional version, we have an extra 6 platforms that you can use. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do make sure you watch all the other videos. As I said, they are bite-sized, but it will do you the world of good. And don't forget, check out the case study, check out the cheat sheet. It's going to really save you time and help you a lot. Thanks again for watching the video.